What's up, dudes? My name is Danger from dangerground.com, and I'm going to show you a quick way to download VMware as well as a Kali Linux virtual machine to go inside of VMware. So, first off, go ahead and open up Google Chrome or whatever web browser you use. That's fine. VMware.com is where you're going to want to go. You could also Google VMware, it doesn't really matter. Go to products. Up at the top, lots of options here. Go ahead and click on Workstation Player. This is the free version. You do not have to pay for this if you are a individual consumer. If you are a business, you will need Workstation Pro, which you do have to pay for. In this video, we are doing Workstation Player. There's also Fusion for Mac, which you do have to pay for as well. If you have a Mac, you probably don't want to use VMware unless you're trying to pay for it. So this Workstation Player will work for Windows or Linux. Go ahead and click on Workstation Player, download for free. Once you get to this screen, go to Downloads, and then you can choose either the Windows install or the Linux install. In my case, I would choose the Windows install. I've already done this. I use VMware already, so I don't want to reinstall it. I don't want to re-download it. It is half a gig. So go ahead and download that. And then once you get that downloaded and installed, which I am also not going to show you, I'm assuming if you're downloading and installing Kali Linux into a virtual machine, you probably know the basics of downloading and installing a program. There's no difference here. Go ahead and download VMware. Once you get it installed, it's going to look like this, minus these 3 entries right here. Those are the virtual machines that I currently have running. Those will not show up for you. But once you get it done, you have VMware installed. We are done with this for now. We need to go over and get our Kali Linux ISO. So in order to do that, we need to open up a new tab, or just, close down the old tabs. We don't need those anymore either. And then we can search Kali Linux. Just like that. Top result, kali.org. Make sure you're clicking on the kali.org. If you get any ads or whatever, make sure you just do the kali.org one. This will bring you to this page. Easy. Just click download here. There's a lot of options here, but we are looking for the virtual machines option. We are doing a virtual machine. I will go over these in other videos, but for now, this one's the one we want. We got VMware, VirtualBox, and QEMU. Obviously, we just downloaded VMware. We're going to go for the VMware installation. Go ahead and give that a click, and it will download it for you. I'm not going to actually download it. Alright, so I lied a little bit. I did actually end up having to download the file because I didn't have another zipped version of the Kali Linux image. So I did end up downloading it. That's just from right here. Clicked on that, got the download. And now what we're going to need to do is unzip this file. So we double click on that, and I'm using a WinRAR here. But you can also use 7-zip. I believe that you can probably just unzip this with the built-in Windows zip utility as well. So go ahead and open it up, and then you can take your Kali Linux folder here and then drag it onto the desktop or drag it into a folder that you want to install it into. Doesn't really matter where you install this, so just go ahead and drag it. It is 13 gigabytes, so make sure that you have enough room on your hard drive to do this. Alright, that is finished. So we've got our Kali Linux 202 or 2022.4 version on the desktop. So we can go ahead and close that and open up our VMware. So here is where it will get a little bit different than other videos you may have seen. We are not actually installing an ISO. We are just going to open this in VMware. This is a pre-made virtual machine already. If we open it up, we can actually see that there's a lot of different stuff in here. So there's not a single ISO file. So the way that we're going to install this is we're just going to File and then Open, and then we're going to go ahead and I just put mine on the desktop. So Desktop, Kali Linux, and then double click or click and open the only file in there that it allows you to open. And now you have a fully functioning VMware Kali Linux installation. This will pre-configure the virtual machine to have 2 gigabytes of RAM, I don't know if this is looking at my specs in particular, or what it's doing to determine that it needs 2 gigs. But if you don't have the memory or the processors to spare, or the hard disk space or whatever, make sure to go through and tweak these settings as you need to. In case you didn't see where I clicked, it's under Edit Virtual Machine. And then you can readjust how much memory it gets, how many processors it takes, how much hard drive space it takes up. You can also change the network adapter settings. NAT usually is fine. NAT means that it will use the same IP address as your computer does. So if anything were to, if you were looking at the machine from the outside, it would appear to be the same machine as your computer is. If you don't want that to happen, you can switch over to bridged, and it will show up on your network as a separate device. USB controller, these things don't need to be changed. Sound card, display, CD, DVD. None of this needs to be changed right out of the box. This will run just fine without changing these. We will go over in future videos what you may need to change. But for now, you don't need to change anything. This will work. You can go ahead and click Play Virtual Machine, and it will boot up just like this. You may have to resize the window. And I don't know if you saw, but there was a couple options here. It will just boot into Kali Linux after the first couple seconds, but you can also just press enter. And now we have a functioning Kali Linux installation, and the default credentials for Kali at this point, they have changed it in the past, so I can't speak for too far in the future, but for now, the default credentials for Kali are Kali and Kali, K-A-L-I. Go ahead and type that in, and voila. Kali Linux is now running on your Windows or Linux PC in a virtual machine on VMware. And you can go ahead and hack around to your heart's content. I will have future videos on different exploitations and different tools that Kali Linux uses, different explanations and stuff. So stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, go ahead, poke around, have fun, don't do anything illegal. Obviously, this is for educational purposes. I do not condone illegal activities. There's a lot of power here. Learning how to hack and learning how computer systems work it does require you to be responsible with the things that you are doing. So be aware of that, and I will see you guys in the next video.